Dr. Fackler, I want to be sure that I heard you correctly. The bullet that you say went through the president's back, out his throat, you say began to tumble, hit the governor in his back, went through his chest, fractured his rib, came out below the right nipple, then went into his wrist, fractured his wrist, and then landed in his left thigh. That, in your words, is an absolutely typical trajectory for that bullet. Is that your testimony, sir?
It certainly is.
All right. Now, you say that that bullet, in your view, was tumbling when it left the president's neck, throat, on its way to the governor's back. Is that correct?
It had just begun to tumble. I would guess the degree of yaw probably would have been no more than 5 to 10 degrees.
But you characterize that as tumbling. Is that right?
Well, it's the beginning of tumbling, certainly.
Would you characterize the wound in the back of Governor Connally, which, by the way, you never saw that wound, did you?
I won't know. I've never seen the wound.
All right. Would you characterize the wound based on your after-the-fact examination of evidence concerning the wound as a puncture-type wound?
No.
Now, you're aware, are you not, that Dr. Connally was attended on November 22, 1963 by the chief thoracic surgeon at Parkland Hospital. His name was Dr. Robert Shaw.
Yes, I read the operation report by Dr. Shaw.
And you're aware, aren't you, Doctor, that Dr. Shaw has told the House Select Committee investigating the assassination of the president that the wound was not caused by a tumbling bullet. That is, the wound to the back of the governor. Isn't that so?
The operation report of Dr. Shaw indicates a wound that was 3 centimeters long, which is entirely consistent with this bullet traveling sideways.
Well, let me read to you from the report, Doctor, because your recollection may be flawed. It says the wound was actually approximately 1.5 centimeters long. The ragged edges of the wound were surgically cut away, effectively enlarging it to approximately 3 centimeters. Isn't that what he told the commission, sir?
The 1.5 centimeters, I recognize that later on he changed his recollection to 1.5 centimeters.
Is that what he told the House Select Committee, Doctor?
I'm not aware. I don't think I've read the particular document you have in hand.
Let me, if I may, Your Honor, let me show you this. This is the report of the interview of Dr. Robert Shaw for the House Select Committee on the Assassination, 1977. I will give counsel a copy.
Your Honor, I think we're confusing the difference between the committee and the Warren Commission, but if they want to spend time on it, it's all right with me.
Now, Doctor, you have that document?
Again, we might just proceed with question, answers, or very concise objections, okay?
Doctor, did Dr. Shaw tell the House Select Committee investigators that the wound was a puncture-type wound? And I'm referring to the bottom of the first page.
He says it was a puncture-type wound.
Did he say that it was 1.5 centimeters and that he increased it to approximately 3 centimeters by surgically cutting it at the top of the next page?
He says the bullet had struck the body at a slight declination and the wound was actually approximately 1.5 centimeters.
Thank you. Does he say further down the next page, and I quote, "It is Dr. Shaw's opinion that the wound was not caused by a tumbling bullet, an inference drawn explicitly from his belief that a tumbling bullet would not have had sufficient force to cause the remainder of the governor's wounds." Did he say that?
Yes, he says that.
Did he also say that he believed that the bullet which hit the governor had not struck any other objects? Does he say that as well?
He says that.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.